Today we're going to look at how to conduct a performance management hearing. In employment terms, we call this a capability hearing to fit with the unfair dismissal legislation. Performance management. What's the deal? What's the deal in employment? The deal basically is me, the employer, I pay the employee a sum of money to do the job. Other side of the deal, the bargain, the employee does that job. The employee clears the hurdles, the number of hurdles that are required, the height of the hurdles as required. If they start kicking down those hurdles, what happens? Well, we're not getting our money's worth as employers in strict financial terms. What we're also doing, we're suffering more in that these kind of processes become stressful for people. Sometimes the reaction is people go off absent sick. They're time consuming. If you get the processes wrong, they cause risk. They cause legal risk because if warnings are provided and people resign in response to the warnings that can happen, or if you decide to dismiss, claims can come on the back of that. How are we going to look at this today? We're going to do a role play. We're going to do a formal capability hearing, a director speaking with the particular employee and working through the different processes. At the end, I'll be coming back to speak with you again, and we're going to try and identify the 5 main learning points. You, when watching this, perhaps note down the 5 points that you think are appropriate, and then we'll look at it at the end. Okay? Curtains now open.
Today's hearing is a capability hearing, and the purpose of the hearing is to discuss whether your recent performance has fallen below the standard that's required from you by the company, and if after the hearing I decide that your performance has fallen below the required standard, then I'll also decide whether or not to issue you with a disciplinary penalty and what that penalty will be. I'm going to be conducting the hearing today, and I'll be making any decisions during adjournment to the hearing. Before we start, I see you haven't brought a companion with you. Are you happy to proceed without a companion?
Yeah, I didn't think it was necessary, and I thought this is only going to take 5 minutes.
Right, okay. Well, it's absolutely your decision. Do you feel like you've had enough time to prepare for today's hearing?
Yeah, I've been through everything. I haven't brought anything with me because I just got it all in my head.
Right, great, okay. So what I'm going to do, I want to discuss with you the concerns that the company has about your performance. At all times, you'll have an opportunity to put across your version of events, any comments that you want to make. What I want to do is start by discussing your sales target. As you know, you haven't hit your sales target for the last 4 months. And it's, I'm not just concerned that you haven't hit your sales target, I'm concerned that you haven't hit them by quite a large margin. We're averaging around 35 to 40%. Very different, from the picture sort of 6 to 12 months ago. What do you have to say about that? What are your reasons for not hitting your sales target?
Well, I think it's the recession is still here. I'm struggling, and the type of leads I'm getting aren't converting into business, and there are very few leads that I'm actually getting through. Whereas previously I was hitting my target, as you know, and I thought I was a very good salesman for the company.
Okay. Well, you've given me 2 reasons there why you think you're not hitting your target. The first one will deal with the recession. I mean, I appreciate, it's undeniable that the company has been affected in recent years by the recession. I accept that. However, if anything, I would say, since probably March, April of this year, the economy does seem to have picked up, and certainly the company, the company's performance has increased over the last 6 months in terms of our sales figures. And really that's a new trend, because over the last couple of years we've been quite static. Yeah. So I would actually say, I'm quite surprised to hear you say that, because you've been performing over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, you started with the company, I think it was in 2008, right at the peak of when the recession hit, and your performance has always been quite steady, and it's actually been over the last 3 or 4 months when I think really the economy is improving that your performance has dropped off. So I'm not convinced that the recession can really be can really be the reason. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
Well, I think it could be the type of product I'm being asked to sell now, and I think I'm just unlucky that I've hit a bit of a purple patch.
Okay. What concerns do you have with the product?
It's slightly changed, and I'm used to the old products that we were selling, and I'm finding it difficult with some customers to sell them the product because I'm quite an honest, straightforward salesman.
I mean, in terms of the products, yes, we have, we're delving into new types of insurance policies that we might not necessarily have sold before to clients. But I mean, you've had full training as to all of the different products, haven't you? Like,
I have
you and
indeed,
your
yes, we
colleagues.
all have.
Do you think you need some more training?
Well, I think it's just the purple patch I'm hearing. I think I'm a good salesman. It'd be interesting to see what the other people are doing and how they're selling the products, because I haven't seen that. But I'm 57, I'm a good salesman. I've been doing it for the best part of 40 years.
I mean, I agree. That's why, I am concerned, because your performance since you started for the company has always been good and it's always been consistent, and something has drastically changed over the last 3 or 4 months. And as I say, you're failing to hit your target by quite a large margin. So I am concerned about that. In terms then of the leads, I mean, you mentioned that before. As you know, the system that we have for getting work in is we have a helpline number that's advertised, and we have online inquiry forms. And the other way we really get business is through clients referring us word of mouth. In terms of the new inquiries that we get to the helpline or submitted on the online form, they are distributed out to the sales team, including yourself, on a rota system.
Yeah,
So
I
you
agree.
get the same number of inquiries and leads that all of your colleagues in the team get. In terms of the other way that we get business, so we get that business from advertising, don't we? We
Yeah, I
advertise
agree,
the
yeah.
helpline, we advertise the website, TV, etc. Is word of mouth. You doing a good job for a client, selling them insurance policies, providing a good service, and they refer us to other clients. So really, that's in your court, isn't it, to get referrals?
Yeah, but I'm reaching an age now where a lot of my contemporaries now are retiring from the business or have left or taken out of retirement. So that part of the referrals is drying up, really. I'm having to generate new clients or connections with companies and people in the companies, which is finding a bit difficult because they're a lot younger than me.
Okay. So are you saying that the people who are retiring, they're not facilitating a relationship between you and their replacements before they go?
That's right, and it's a difficulty sometimes I've got with some of the existing clients.
Can you provide me with some examples? I mean, I don't know whether you've got them off the top of your head, but can you provide me with some examples of where this has been the
Well,
case?
Easy Chairs, for example, we've been insuring them for years, and Bob's retiring from there. I went to his retirement do, and I was trying to get to know a lot of people there, but it's a young lad, they stick together, and they see me being a bit of an old fogey.
Okay. But I mean, you're not the only person on our team in the 50s, are you, Rodney? We've got other people in our team in the 50s who aren't having this problem.
Well, no, I think it's just bad luck and hitting a bit of a purple patch.
Okay. So in terms of your, the reasons you're putting forward as to why you haven't hit your targets, we've got the recession, new inquiries, leads, and the type of products, and really you think you're being a bit unlucky and hitting a bit of a sticky patch.
Yeah, I think I have been.
Okay. In terms of then what you can do about these things, what do you plan to do differently? Because I'm sure you accept that this can't go on. So what do you plan to do differently?
Well, I would like to go out with someone and just see how they're selling the products. If the new products, what am I doing wrong? I'm prepared to listen to people.
I mean, as you know, my job role is to oversee the sales team, but I also go out, and sell products.
Yeah.
I spend probably 50-60% of my time being a salesperson, the other 40% managing the team. I mean, I'm happy for you to come out with me, and
That'd be fine.
I could just say that you're coming along to meet some
Yeah,
new people.
I'll go with
if
that,
you want
Sarah.
to see. And I think if you are having difficulty selling the products, I think you need some more training on the products, because nobody else is having this difficulty. And I appreciate, we have brought out lots of new insurance policies to sell. But we're kind of delving into new markets in terms of the policies that we're offering. Do you think it would be better for you to do the training again, or?
I'm quite happy to do that, Sarah. If I'm doing something wrong, then I'm prepared to put my hands up.
Okay, so I think in terms of the things that we can do is, you can come out with me, see how I'm selling new products. You can redo the training. But I think it would also be a good idea if you kind of bring to my attention, maybe you could do that within the next week, a list of the queries or issues you have with the new products.
No,
because
that's fine.
you know, if you're struggling with the products, then you know you need to tell us, because we don't know that unless you tell us, and we can't
Okay.
help you unless you tell us.
Okay, I can I'll do it tonight, and I'll email it to you tomorrow morning.
Fine. Okay. I mean, I think we've covered off the recession and the you know, the leads. I think really the leads, it's very much you're giving new inquiries on a rota basis, and it is up to you to impress your clients
Okay.
so that they refer you elsewhere. I don't think that there's much more that the company can do to assist you with that. Is there anything else you really want to say about
No.
the failure to hit your targets?
No, but it's fine, Sarah. I said it, purple patch. I'm prepared to put my hands up and accept more training, have some mentoring.
Okay. Can you understand why the company is concerned? Because you've performed consistently for 5 years, and then all of a sudden we've got this huge drop in sales.
Well, I can do, but I think, to be fair, everyone hits a purple patch now and then. Footballers have it, strikers have it, and I see my role's been a bit of a striker.
But what are you doing differently? You must be doing
Well,
something, because you're saying you've hit this patch. Footballers hit a patch because they're going through, say, bad, you know, they're hitting bad form. Why are you hitting your bad form? I mean, I know we've discussed a couple of. Is there anything else?
No, I think it's just a combination of a number of factors.
I want to move on now, unless there's anything else that you want to say about
No,
failure
that's
to
fine.
hit your sales target. Okay. One of the reasons I've called this hearing is I appreciate what you're saying about the sales targets, and you know you're hitting a sticky patch, but one of the main reasons that I'm concerned is it's not just your sales targets. And you know, I do feel a little bit sceptical about this. You keep saying you've hit a purple patch, and you're giving the impression that you've hit a rocky patch, and possibly things aren't going right. But it's not just the sales figures that are down. That's why I've made this formal. I've called this hearing, because there are various other issues with your performance that have arisen over the last 3 to 4 months, and I want to get to the bottom of what the reasons behind those are.
Okay.
So, first of all, as to those other issues, you know, the paperwork. I mean, as you know, the insurance market, it's very, very paperwork driven. It's not something that anybody likes to do. I hate the paperwork that's involved. All of the team hates the paperwork that's involved. But it's something that we have to do. So we have to be meticulous, and we just have to get on with it. I mean, we had the issue, didn't we? You know, you mentioned easy chairs before. Where you didn't advise them that there was a £5,000 excess on one of their insurance policies. It wasn't stated on their certificate of insurance, and they've gone to make a claim, and they've had to pay £5,000 excess, and all hell's broken loose. I mean, do you think that's why you've struggled to get in
No.
with the...
Oh, look, that was just an honest mistake, that. I mean, one, we used to have PAs. We haven't had PAs for several months now. So they helped out with the paperwork. And I've just got new glasses as well, so I'm trying to get adjusted to these variofocal ones, which is difficult, I can tell you, particularly when you're driving. And it was just one of those mistakes, because I'm sure I mentioned it to the clients, because I always read through the policy conditions with them and confirm it in the letter, and it was just missed off. But I'm sure I mentioned it.
But I mean, you've said there about the PA's help with the paperwork. Yes, they always have, and yes, you know, we have had to make some redundancies recently. But ultimately, as the person selling the policy, the buck stops with you in terms of you making sure that the policy details, the certificate of insurance, accurately states what those conditions are. So even if the PA had missed off that £5,000 excess, the buck would have always stopped with you anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but everyone makes a mistake. You read something and you think it's there, because you read what you want to see. It's my first mistake in how many years? Like 30 odd years?
Right, well, I mean, it's certainly not the first mistake you've made whilst working for this company, but it's a massive mistake, isn't it? Because the client was absolutely furious, and we've had to pay that £5,000 excess ourselves because you didn't state it on the certificate of insurance. It's a basic detail, and we've ended up £5,000 out of pocket. That's absolutely.
Well, I've apologised, haven't I? I've said I'm sorry, but it was just one of those honest mistakes.
I mean, I appreciate it's an honest mistake, but why would you make a mistake of that magnitude? Because it's so basic. Is if you issue a certificate of insurance, there are just some key details that have got to be inputted and checked and double checked. And one of them is you always make sure the excess is
What can I
spelled
say?
out.
I thought I checked it. I thought it was there. It wasn't. And I can't say any more. I'm just being honest, put my hands up and saying I made an innocent mistake.
Okay. Do you think you weren't paying attention to detail? Were you rushing? There must be a reason why you didn't.
Well, probably because I was so busy. I'm not used to doing all this paperwork, and it's just getting to grips with it.
If we move on now to renewals of insurance policies, as you know, the vast majority of our insurance policies come to an end every 12 months, and we have a diary system in place where you are sent an email 6 weeks before an insurance policy is due to be renewed, reminding you to contact a client to set up a meeting to discuss their insurance needs for the next 12 months. We've had various instances where you've had that email come in, but you haven't actually contacted the client to discuss their renewal. So why haven't you done that?
Well, the PAs used to deal with the emails, and they'd send them on to me. I'd get a hard copy. I just find it difficult with this email system we've got, how to print stuff off and diarise it. It's all right for these young lads, they've grown up with technology. I just struggle a bit with it sometimes and trying to put it into the diary, because I'm used to the old paper diary and carrying it round with me, and I used to put things in. I've been told I can't do that anymore. I've got to actually use electronic diary. But I don't have the internet at home, so it's only when I come into work, and all these young lads have got these pieces of cake, what are called tablets, and I'm not used to that.
I mean, that's fair enough, but there's nothing to stop you having a paper diary as well. The reason why we want people to put appointments into their electronic diary is so that I can view everybody's diary and see where everybody is on a daily basis. There's nothing to stop you still having your own paper diary where you write your own appointments in to remind you. But I don't really see how that's relevant, because the question I'm asking is, why didn't you contact the clients in the first place? You've used emails on a daily basis since you arrived at this company. Since your employment at this company started. When you get the email into your inbox, it's just a reminder for you to pick up the phone on the client and say, your insurance policies are due to expire in 6 weeks. Are you free next week? I can come and pop in and see you.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I was expecting to get my hard copy through telling me to go. So I've missed a couple because I'd had some in my old diaries, but these new ones that have come through, and I've just missed them. Again, it's just an honest mistake.
Have you missed the email, or have you deleted the emails?
Well, I probably missed the email. So it's just an honest mistake. I'm not used to this sort of technology.
Okay. But it's not new technology, is it? You know, how long have you been sending emails at work and receiving emails?
Well, no, it's the PAs used to do that, and I'm having to do it now, and it's just come to grips with all this paperwork that suddenly I have to do.
But surely you've always made your own appointments with clients. You pick up the phone and you give them this spiel. Oh, your insurance policies are coming to an end in 6 weeks. I need to come out and meet with you. We need to get together, talk about your needs for the next 12 months. That's a salesman's job. That's your job. So when you get that reminder in your inbox, it's over to you.
Yeah, but that's easy to say, isn't it? When we had the PAs, my PA was great. She'd been with me since I started work here. We got on really well. She'd prompt and remind me. So I didn't miss things, but no one's reminding me, so I'm missing things now and then.
But do you need to be reminded? If you have an email in your inbox, do you not just leave it there till it's dealt with? So if you don't pick up the phone to a client one day and the email is still sat there in your inbox, then you pick up the phone to them the next day. You've got this reminder because it's in your inbox until... You don't delete it, do you, unless you've dealt with it, sure?
Well, I don't know how you delete things, but all I can say...
You don't know how to delete emails?
Well, no, I've just got them all listed there. There's thousands of them. All I need is probably some training then. But everyone's assumed that I know how to use this email.
I think it's a fair assumption in this day and age to make, Rodney, that everybody knows how to use emails and delete emails.
I haven't got a PC at home. I haven't got the internet at home.
So what about the other emails? The reason I'm pushing this point, Rodney, is because when you're not contacting clients, they're going elsewhere and they're putting their business elsewhere. So you're costing the company, we're talking thousands of pounds in lost
Sarah,
business.
I haven't done that deliberately. I've explained the reason for it.
I appreciate you haven't done it deliberately, like you didn't leave the £5,000 excess off the insurance certificate deliberately. I do appreciate that, but it's about being reckless, isn't it? Because if you're not reckless, then you're costing the company. You've lost the company clients because you're not contacting them.
No, I don't think I've been reckless. I think the company should have given me some more training and not assumed that I knew about emails and technology.
Okay, well, I have to say, I cannot agree that we should have assumed that you didn't know how to use email. If anybody gets a job in this day and age, then they need to know the basics of email, which is if you get an email into your inbox, you do something with it, unless nothing needs doing, or you complete the task, in which case you delete it. Anyway, let's move on. Is there anything else you want to say about those two things, Rodney?
No. I've been honest and frank about everything, and now I've been criticised because of my lack of knowledge. But I've been honest and frank with everything, you know.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it is a lack of knowledge. I think for you to sit there and say you don't know how to work the email system. I mean, you send me emails regularly. I send the team emails. It's how we mainly communicate now. That's just how the world is. Is there anything else you want to say about this, Rodney?
No, that's it.
Okay. Can you understand why I am so concerned about the two issues that we've just discussed in terms of the missing off the policy access on the document and the fact that you're not contacting clients? Can you understand that the practical effect of that is you're missing the company, you're losing the company thousands of pounds?
Well, I don't know about thousands of pounds, but certainly I understand.
Well, the excess was 5,000.
Oh, well, I accept that. But I think the situation is that I've explained, I've been honest, I probably need more training, but I've not done anything deliberately, I haven't been reckless, it's just innocent mistakes, you know, I've just been making mistakes.
Okay. Did you think your performance has been up to scratch the last 3 or 4 months?
Well, I think it has, apart from the purple patch.
Okay. I mean, we've discussed already that you want more training on the products that we sell, you want some IT training, you're going to come out with me and see how I sell products. Is there anything else you think the company can do?
No, Sarah, honestly, I've been honest with you. I'll accept that and go with it.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll arrange those 3 things to happen within the next month, okay?
Thank you.
Right, what I want to do is I want to adjourn and I want to consider what my decision will be after today's hearing. Is there anything else you want to say before I adjourn?
No, I think I've had a fair hearing and I've got my point across. I just want the company to accept my position.
Okay. Are there any documents you think are relevant or anybody you think I should speak to?
No, you can speak to some of the lads and they'll tell you what they think. They're always joking about me with the way I'm not a techie person.
What you want me to ask your colleagues whether you're
Well,
I mean, yeah. I can make that assessment because I work on a team and I send you emails.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying, they take the mickey out of me all the time.
Okay, I'm going to adjourn the hearing. I'll come back to you as soon as possible once I've made my decision.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, thank you.
I hope you found that helpful. Okay, 5 key learning points from that. Let's see whether you agree with me. First one I'd bring out is formality. This is a formal hearing which is relevant in terms of if you're going to take any further action. What's the formality involved? Well, you're following a process. Make sure you've got the copy of the capability procedure in front of you. Make sure that you've invited the individual to this formal hearing. Make sure the letter is setting that out clearly. That avoids someone at the hearing saying, I didn't realise it was so serious, I haven't prepared. Tell them about the right to be accompanied. Also at that hearing, allow them opportunity to make submissions, to ask questions of you, to look at the evidence. If you do that, then if a tribunal or court has to look back and review your decision, it is happy with that part of the process. Second point, preparation. Preparation is very important. When you get into one of these hearings, as you could see with this particular director, homework has been done beforehand. Starting point, perhaps appraisals, previous performance reviews, job descriptions. Look for KPIs. Look for things that you can measure future performance against, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be setting hurdles at certain heights, and you want to make sure that that's the right height, and to then have evidence if someone kicks that hurdle down. Comparative research is helpful as well. As we witnessed, benchmarking individuals. This is where you have failed, others haven't failed, others have achieved. That's very helpful to take away the issues about it's not my fault. Third point, to me, interlock with other procedures is, as I would put it. Although we were looking at the capability process here, it also overlapped, as we could see as the facts came out, with the disciplinary process. What do I mean by that? Well, usually performance management is all along the lines of, I'd like to do my job, but I need more help doing it. When you go into the other area of discipline, it's a question of intention. And what was coming out in that role play and that hearing was the person not perhaps fully getting behind the job, doing the job properly, intending to do it. And that can take you into areas of conduct such as negligence, such as insubordination, relevant to how we might decide on the actual sanction at the end of the process. Fourth point, eliminate other possible causes. Same as a police investigation. Is it performance on the part of this individual, or is it something else? Is it a lack of training? That came up in this particular discussion. Is it someone else's fault? Is this individual reliant to carry out their job well, to clear the hurdles on someone else? So eliminate those so the spotlight is just on that particular individual. So if they kick the hurdle down, it is just their fault and no one else. Fifth, final point for me, when you decide on the sanction, you decide on what's appropriate in this process, make it a firm stepping stone. Sometimes with performance management, you're looking at 3 warnings in a sense, 3 strikes and out. You're looking at the first warning, followed up by a final written warning if they don't perform as expected, and then the third strike and out is dismissal. So make sure you've got a firm stepping stone when you leave this part of the process. You don't want to have to reverse back because this one isn't solid and can't be relied upon. In terms of the sanction here, be intrigued as to what people thought the sanction should be. Should it be a written warning, or were the disciplinary issues taking it beyond that? For me, it would depend on what you were trying to achieve here. If the person still had a lot of goodwill directed at them and you wanted to help them, there was mention of training and mentoring, you might keep it at a written warning. You wouldn't want to demotivate them. However, if you actually decided that there was a lot of bad faith in here, that the disciplinary issues were such that you thought that you really had to make a point here, you might actually go for a final written warning to put pressure on the individual, to have the old sword of Damocles hanging over them so that they are as good as their word.